Hey guys, so this afternoon we fly off, but we're just going to go today. We've got today to kill. Selena wants to look at a few things in the big, the Grand Bazaar. So I'm not expecting things to be as shit as we all assume at the Grand Bazaar. It's a bit of a tourist trap. In fact, a lot of a tourist trap, because it's been one of those things that are on tourist brochures. Come and see, but we've got to come and see there. We never know, we might find something, some knockoff stuff that'll tick a few boxes here and there. So we'll go and have a look. All right, see ya. What are you looking at?
150 lira.
Yes.
$15.
Yeah. Okay, that's cheap.
That's billing.
No, sir. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, I cannot. So this is no. So when you're, are they also toilet seats?
No, I think so.
Can I see if you can lift one up?
They are toilet seats.
No. Well, they look like toilet seats, don't they? So yeah, so when you go to a mosque, like traditionally, because they're taking their shoes off and they show respect to walk inside the mosque, in case their feet were dirty, they come in here and wash their feet first. So this is like the foot washing. But in the olden days, socks didn't exist. Yeah. But in the olden days, socks didn't exist, crew. I don't think they're doing, do they? No, not without you guys. What if a robber steals you? Yeah, you can't get a rich robber, Selena. And his face. Well, no, he's not washing his feet. Hey guys, we're just on our way to the bazaar. We walked past the bazaar by accident. We missed a little turn, but it just ended up being right near Istanbul University. And you know how you go to some universities and the buildings are all old and fancy. Yeah, this looks like castles, right? And right outside. So you know, this part of the world does it way better than we're used to. And just outside the university, if you can see here, is one of the other mosques. I'm not going to go into this one. Selena doesn't have a headscarf, and I was going to go in, but I thought, oh no, I won't do this. But you can see just over my shoulder here, beautifully made. Like all these things are beautifully made. Marble posts, marble piers, holding this thing up. You know, brass and gold leaf around, with all the little seats with the taps, and obviously people wash their hands, their feet, face and stuff. They took their shoes off and their feet were dirty. Wash their feet and respectfully go into the mosque. So, just cool. Just cool to see all these old stuff, and it still works. That stuff's still functional, even though it was built a long time ago. All the taps look gold looking. They're not gold, they're gold looking. Guys come in, washed his hands and his face. He's about to go into the mosque. So, cool little part of the world. I just thought I'd bring you this. I like it. So, all right, we're off to the bazaar finally. Wow, no, brass. Little jacket. For crew. Oh, fancy. Oh, crew. Should try and put one of these hats on. Which hat are you going to put on? What about this one?
The red one, remember?
So he's telling us it's not the Chinese made, it's a Turkish made, so he calls it good quality, which is scaring me. Good quality Prada knockoff. Selena's asking for an over the shoulder, the new triangle looking one. Australian dollars getting pounded all around the world. That's a good indication about our economy. We're making record money selling coal and iron ore. However, the world knows that there's a push from the richest people in the world to cut out coal, so we're going to be screwed. What? They're waiting for me. Crew shadow boxing. Around the corner. Oh, I like this. Here's all the little back streets. And as is tradition in a lot of these countries, all of the retailers are men, because women don't work much, if at all, and that's kind of cultural, religious. Don't know. I'm sure the women are happy with it. I'm sure the women are secretly happy they don't work, but probably act depressed, but really enjoy not going to work every day. Who knows? Who knows what it's like? Alright guys, well, me and crew are sitting on the seat because Selena's up and down looking at all the handbags, Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, the whole of the stuff there. Look, quality stitching's alright on these, where we are. Chains and stuff are alright. They're obviously knockoffs, but you know, when your starting price, 350 to 300 lira, it's not terrible. Obviously, you've got a couple, you get a bit of a discount. What's more valuable that's soaking up is the time. You really can get sucked into these vortexes. It's a bit like the casino. Notice there's no clocks in the bazaar. That's right. Same thing. Next thing you know, the day's done and you've been around and signed 50 handbags and you walked out with all sorts of crap. We did get some luggage though. Both silicone, a large luggage, a large bag, and a carry-on bag. For 700 lira. So it's probably about $70 Australian for 2 bags, and they were silicone heads jumping all over them, showing them the quality. And look, you know what? For the last 2 years, that's fine. So for stuff like that, yeah, I'd definitely come back. The knockoff stuff here is good quality. Eva's explained to me that there's a Chinese quality, which is lesser, so cheaper stitching, cheaper chains, that sort of thing, cheaper leather. But the Turkish knockoff quality is a little bit better. And this is where we're at, starting at about 300 to 350 lira. Well, it's not terrible. They're not. Let's have a look at some of them. That's a huge bag.
Very small.
Selena's,
Not very big.
Selena's looking at a huge Chanel bag, is she? Yeah, okay.
What's this one?
Funny little green. Crew's doing a magic trick. Oh my god, there's nothing in either hand. You tricked me.
No, Dad, I'm showing you one.
Oh, you were showing me.
Look, empty.
Hmm?
And then
Grab this and show your mum. Crew, grab that and show your mum.
that.
Don't drop it on the coffees.
Nice.
What, that one?
Very nice one.
Take it over to her and show her.
Very
Mom.
nice. Not the other one.
Oh,
You like
Your
this one?
Prada
It's your
one.
favorite color.
More your size, Selena.
Yeah, small bags. Do
do they come with this strap?
My. Strap this one, excuse me,
No,
long.
it's only the strap.
Look,
Oh, okay.
strap long.
Strap long, okay? This guy's got everything.
We've got everything.
Yeah, he's got everything
What's your
covered.
name?
My name is Volkan.
Vulcan.
Yeah, Volkan.
Vulcan.
Watercolor.
Hello. Smile. You look better smiling.
Happy.
Gül diyor, gül.
He's like, oh, another day at work. Yeah. So you bored, crew?
Stop.
No, you're not. Sorry, Selena. What do I think of it? I don't know. That looks similar to your other bags, and that's what you like. If that's your style, that's your style.
I think I like that one.
Yeah, that one better.
Because of the big chain, or
Take that off.
you take the chain off.
Together. Strap long.
Yeah.
Strap your long one. Not
Like
this
this
small strap.
You like that the black strap? Hmm. Look on
Ne
how
lazım canım?
look on how much is that one?
He? Balenciaga hangi model canım? Şundan mı diyorsun canım? Bak karşıda var eksik.
Really hot, Dad.
Well, mate, Mum will be stressing about our car will be here in a minute. Plus, I gotta go in and do a shit.
Scary thing. Hey.
So, did you hear what the man was telling me at the jewellery shop about the motorbikes crew?
Okay guys, so I just want to do an overview of our time in Turkey, in Istanbul. So we've had a pretty quick trip through Istanbul. We arrived yesterday morning. Look, best thing about when we arrived, we could quickly find a Wi-Fi, scan your passport, and you got an hour's free Wi-Fi, which, you know what, is amazing. Then we quickly went through everything. It was the airport was really well done. I don't know whether we just got lucky on a day that wasn't busy. It was straight through customs. The luggage was there when we got out. There was no hold up in the luggage. And when we came out straight into waiting for our vehicle, the wait was probably about 20 minutes. Got into the vehicle, hour drive to our hotel. Now, I'm really proud of myself. I picked the hotel we stayed at. It was in a really, really good location. So 6-minute walk to the Grand Bazaar, probably a 10-minute walk if that to like the Blue Mosque. And you know what? Whole different ways to get to different parts of the sea. So we have done a really quick rush trip. So we saw the Blue Mosque, disappointed it was getting renovated, but you know what? Still an amazing feeling when you walk into those places. We did a few other mosques that we don't know the names of. We just sort of quickly went in, took videos, photos, things like that. But lots to see here. I think you'd need about 3-4 weeks to see just maybe Istanbul. We haven't even gone to the other side. I think this is the older part, and the newer parts across the road. We never caught a tram. It looks like that's a really good system because we were walking distance to everything. You know what? They all say the Grand Bazaar, like you get lost in that. I found it quite easy to get around and know where I was. So, look, so much to see that we haven't seen. So the thing I was probably a bit taken aback was I want to understand the market here, as in we went in, looked at some things. Prices to me were high. I had spoken to a lady this morning. He said the Grand Bazaar is really dear. Basically, so they're really aimed at foreigners, but you know, there's everything from clothes, shoes, bags, gold jewelry, anything, Louis Vuitton, Prada, Gucci, Chanel, it's here. Beautiful jackets, everything. But what I want to grasp the concept of is, yes, it's all knockoff gear. I'd be guessing you'd have to go to a proper Chanel shop to buy the real stuff, so it's all knockoff. And yet, why do people come here to buy it? Is it really cheap, or you know, we're getting told a really quite expensive price? So, give you an example, like a Prada handbag from Prada is about $2,850. I was looking at him today, and he was quoting us. Now, from memory, I've got to remember. So, there's different levels. There was the cheap version. Now he was talking in euro, and it was going to be about 80 Australian dollars, the cheap version that might last you a year, which I found out from another guy later. He had the Turkey version that he reckons is top quality, and he was wanting to charge me about, well, for two he was looking at $1,000 Australian dollars, 800 to 1,000, and I just can't fathom that for a knockoff bag. Like, I don't care where it's made, it's a knockoff, it's not real, it's not. So maybe I'm wrong in thinking that, but it doesn't worry me if I don't have these things. But it's just interesting to hear it and see it, but I'd actually really like to understand it, because that's me. I just like to know, why is a knockoff something that much when to me it shouldn't be. It's not the real thing. It's all prefabricated in a workshop. That work is cheap labour. Yeah, the material might be that bit better, but you know. So, but it was really good to try and get that understanding. I'd like to come back and understand more. We didn't get around to looking at clothes and that because we weren't really in the market for clothes, but I'd like to understand the clothes side of things as well. We did spend a bit of time talking to a gentleman that worked in a silver shop. That his grandfather has done. He's got a gold and diamond shop, real gold, real diamonds, that Scott had a really good chat with him about pricing, and he will probably talk about that because that's his thing. And they weren't too bad. They weighed the silver items to tell you a price. He was interesting to talk to about. He was in the army, been working since he was a kid, got taken into that shop to work. So they're brought up very much, you work, you own a shop and you make money. It's not about working for someone else. You want to own that business and work in that business and have your family in that business. So I found that really energetic and great to see that, it's something we don't do. We don't have businesses in Australia that our kids come to work to at 14. Imagine Crew standing at the front of our business saying, anyone walking down Harry Street saying, oh, do you need some finance? Come on in and see my dad. Can you imagine that? Police would probably come and arrest him for, harassing people or something. But the markets were amazing. The lights, they're just stunning. The carpet, the rugs are stunning. Would love to take a lot of stuff home, but A, it's breakable, B, we don't have any room, but you know what, I would really love coming back here to spend time and see it. But also, like, looking at the tours you can do outside of Istanbul is absolutely amazing. But yeah, so hotel was great. I'd stay there, Palace. I would have loved to get a Turkish bath in, but we never had time for that. So I'd like to come back and do that because I think that would just be amazing. Food has been awesome. I wouldn't recommend having the breakfast at Palace Hotel. I think you can go out and get amazing food. And Scott and I usually don't do breakfast, but when you're in a new country, you just don't know. And you always want to test out hotel breakfast because they could be amazing. So they could offer some traditional foods. Look, they had a lot of cheeses, a lot of salads. They only had really egg as your hot food, and you did your own toast. Coffee was really good, I'll give it that. But Scott and I learned from that. We know next time we won't be doing breakfast. We'll go out and find something on the street or go back to our old ways. So I liked Istanbul. Funny though, everywhere you go, it's all men working. The women do not work, but funnily enough, women are in the police force. I don't get it. Women aren't allowed to work yet, but they're allowed to do things like that, be in the police force. So you hardly see any women waitresses. You see no women waitresses. It's all men at the markets. The men at markets were quite mesmerised with Crew. They kept looking at Crew. I was watching them. I don't know what it is, whether it's because he's blonde and blue eyes. They get very intrigued on that. I think that the blue eyes and blonde hair mix. But no one smiles, which is really disheartening. Like, they're all busy running, but not a smile on their face. So yeah, it's been really interesting, and I've one day like to come back here and have a proper time frame here, and see Istanbul in its wholeness, and parts of Turkey that I found on the internet which look absolutely amazing. So but I'm so glad we've come. I'm so glad we've seen it. I think it's given Crew a little bit of an eye-opener about things, and it's great to talk to them and hear them talk to him about their work when they were 14 and their way of life. That in Australia, again, we have lost all that. You know, we give our kids everything and they work for nothing. So, you know, I would like to bring my son up in a little bit different cultures, in that, yeah, you do go to work and you do make money and you keep your money and you save your money and you know, you have dreams and hopes and you work for it. Mum and Dad don't just buy it. So I think that's been a good lesson for Crew, Mexico and here, and probably Thailand is the same. London wasn't, but I just hope Crew's maybe learn a little bit about appreciating things in life, not just be given handed by Mum and Dad or Santa, the bullshit stuff we buy, like, you know, for Christmas and the Santa presents kids get. And, you know, I think it's time that our kids worked for some things, and learnt to appreciate the things we give them. That's me. You all might disagree with me, but I think it's really great values to watch in other countries. So, but yeah, so that's our time. Off to Thailand now. See you guys.
Hey guys, alright, that was our layover in Istanbul, from Cancun on our way to Bangkok. Look, I'm glad we did this as a layover and not as a straight through flight, because that would have been murder realistically. That would have been too much for our family. So nice to have a lay down night. And look, if you've got to do it, if you've got to do a layover, it's not super free. Obviously, you guys, you've got to pay for a visa. It's probably about $150 Australian each, because you're leaving the airport. But if you can handle that, and night's accommodation, I mean, our accommodation was, I think, was about 185 Australian for the night, and we stayed in a really good spot. We will walk to the Blue Mosque and a couple of other mosques and things that would have been good to go and see. We went to the Blue Mosque and also the Grand Bazaar. Look, been to one bazaar, you've been to them all, I think, but that was kind of worth it for us to actually get all our bags out, get into the hotel and have a lay down and sleep, and then have a bit of a look around. We used it as a bit of a scouting, a bit of a litmus test taster for us, and we've decided that we do definitely want to come back. The more research you do on Turkey, the more that you realise that you need to spend a bit of time here. And I guess that's probably true of any place, especially in Europe/Asia with so much history, and Turkey has a very rich history. Some of the things that were interesting to me was having a conversation in relation to gold and jewellery. The jeweller, the jeweller was being a barber and telling me I needed a haircut, but he was talking about gold, and I was saying, look, I thought, Dubai and how Dubai price their jewellery, much on the way to the gold, not much in the labour and stuff. And he says, yeah, that's correct. However, the labour for where Dubai gets their jewellery is more expensive than Turkey. And he said people from Romania and Bulgaria come across the border to Turkey, buy a lot of jewellery, and then sell it back in their home countries, because there's an arbitrage on labour costs. So there's an arbitrage basically on what the jewellery is. I mean, gold is a universal spot price. They put a margin on that and then pay for the labour and put a margin on that. That's kind of how you sell jewellery, really. If it was all gold, obviously stones add to it as well. So that was interesting to hear. I'll be curious to know if that's kind of the same fashion in Thailand. We get to go to Thailand and then have a chat to our jeweller as well. So I'll be hitting him up with the same info, because I'm curious about how gold works, because it does. Some gold does keep its value if done in the right way. Look, it was nice to walk down to the water's edge, and basically, over to our right was the direction of the Mediterranean, and to our left was the direction to the Black Sea, and all those things in between. But what a part of the world to be in, which is where Asia meets Europe. And I can understand, when geographically, the more you look at it, the more you understand trade of commodities and now energy. You can understand why this part of the world has always been fought over, and is going to be fought over again, and why they consistently stay strong is because they geographically they just need it. It's like the Panama Canal of Europe. So very interesting. It'll be very interesting to watch Turkey. The Turkish lira is low at the moment, and that's because they haven't continued to increase their interest rates. They've decided that that's not for them. They're happy to have their currency dump because it brings a lot of tourism in, and a few other reasons. So that's interesting. But like everything, the Australian dollar's currency's on the floor as well. So just because Turkey's currency's low doesn't mean ours was like super strong over here. It isn't at all. The euro's strong and the US dollar's strong, and ours is in the toilet with everyone with other commodity only countries, which is what we are. So that was pretty shit, but it is what it is over here. Definitely be coming back. I think as if you wanted to have one part of the world that you started to get familiar with and started to use as a launching pad. A lot of people used to say London, you get to UK and then you can go anywhere in Europe and you're just across the channel and you can just do this. No, those days are gone. That country's crap at the moment, and it's too dear, and it's not nice, and Heathrow's a nightmare. Heathrow's shutting down half of its planes and airlines, and terminals and stuff, because it ruins the environment. So it's going to be so expensive. I think Turkey is the new launching pad to Europe, and also Middle Asia, which is your Turkmenistans and your Afghanistans, Egypt as well. I throw in there Georgia, which is what Selena and I really want to go and see. So I'd love to bring you some footage from Georgia. If we were going to Georgia, we would have to come to Turkey. If we were coming to Turkey, we'd probably stop via Thailand, not Doha. So I'm hoping some interesting times ahead in the next decade. So anyway, guys, I'm starting to ramble a bit, but that's our information from Turkey, and I just wanted to bring you that. We'll see you at the airport. I'll hopefully get into a lounge, and I can try and work out what the lounges are. We may not get into one. Then we're on the plane off to Bangkok, and we'll take you on that journey with us. All right, talk to you soon.